Hey guys and gals, you caught me up on the ladder. And as you can see, I've been doing some drywall work in here. And yep, just got a few more screws to put in. I'm not going to be finishing off this alcove right now because I need to focus on getting the bathroom done. But I mainly wanted to get this done. I am going to put some underlayment on the floor. Then we're going to bring our freezer in here. And it'll get set in here and it'll probably get used in the meantime. But I need to focus on the bathroom, but I needed to get that out of my living room. My son came and took away the refrigerator this morning, which is a good thing. So now our living room will be almost back to normal. Almost. Our bedroom is trashed. This bathroom, of course, is trashed because I got materials and tools and all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So, whoops. I missed it just by a hair. And I'm not putting screws in all of the studs. I don't know if you can see. You can point it down this way, Claudia. See where my finger is? Can you see my finger down here? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a rookie cameraman working on holding the camera. You can see down here I have screws on every stud. But normally you got to remember we only have studs every 16 inches on center. I have extras in the middle here to support my plumbing and all of that good stuff. But I put one in each of the studs all across, but I'm only doing the ones that are more or less 16 on center the rest of the way. And so that's how that goes. And I'll bring you back in a few minutes. I'm going to put some tape on. Going to put some tape on the corners and 1 coat of joint compound just because. And yeah, this will get finished off at a later date after the bathroom is done, and probably after I get back from my vacation. And I'll tell you about that another time. Alright, I'll be bringing you back in a little bit. You thought you were all done watching this video, didn't you? You thought you were going to get away with a shorty. Well, I'm going to try and finish this off, and I'm going to be putting up some tape, and then I'm going to be putting some compound on the joints and a quick coat over the screw heads. And first thing you got to know, if you're going to do this, I have found for normal joint compound work, the best thing to use is fiberglass tape, because if I can find the end of it, I haven't used this stuff for a couple of years. Last time I used it was on a job for a customer. Kind of a dark hole back in here. But what I'm going to do is, this is self-adhesive fiberglass mesh tape. See that? Okay. And I have a joint right here where the two pieces of sheetrock come together. And this is the hallway, so it doesn't have to be green stuff. In the bathroom, I'm going to have green drywall. And I'll just run that puppy down in the corner, like that. Put my putty knife against it and just rip it off. And similar thing going down here. I'm not going to bother with along the top, because I'm going to be putting a crown molding in here, so there's no point to it. So actually all I have is this place here and the 2 corners in the back that I have to put tape on. And you probably can't see all the way up in the top here, but basically you're going to fold this tape more or less in half and tuck it into the corner with your fingers. And I'll give you a close-up of this after I get her done. Just run her down in there and it'll stay right on it. Sometimes you get an extra hair coming off the edge. You make sure you get it pretty good and clean, and you get it stuck on all the way up and down like that. Let me show you what I mean. Jelly bean. Let me zoom you right in there. See if you can see it. Woo! Come on, focus there, girl. There you go. Can you see that? Yep, it's more or less folded right into the corner. And yeah, the lighting is pretty bad in there. It's hard for the camera to focus on it. But that's the idea, all the way up and down. And I'll do the other side and I'll bring you back and we'll talk a little bit about joint compounding and applying. Like any other job, it helps to have the right tools. And the first thing you need is what's called a hawk. See that? Now most hawks don't come with this 90-degree elbow at the bottom or edge. That my dad put in that probably, I'm going to say 40 years ago or more. This was my dad's hawk. I have another newer one that I had bought when my dad was still alive and he still had his own stuff that he was using. But I have one in mine. I never bent the lip on it, but I'll tell you what, this comes in real handy, and you'll see in just a moment. The next thing you need is a good knife, putty knife, if you want to call it that. This one is about a 5-inch, I think, and it's just big enough to go down into a 1-gallon bucket, which is what I'm using, or even a 5-gallon bucket to scoop the stuff out. And I often use it, as you'll see, putting it on here. And then once I get it all on and I want to smooth it out really well, I use this. This is I don't know, a 10-inch or something like that. And I've had this one for probably 30 years myself. I have 2 of them now. So I picked up another one at a thrift store for like 50 cents. But and the best thing you can do for your tools is to take care of them. Now here's the third tool, third trowel. This one is for doing corners, and you'll get to see me do it. You can do a corner in a 2-step using just a knife like this, but doing it with this, you can pretty much get it finished in one shot as far as getting your corner and get it nice and smooth. So now that you know what tools we're using, let's get on with it. I have just a 1-gallon bucket here, and I'm going to scoop some out of it. Looks like some of it has separated. It's been sitting for a few months since I last used it. And put a glop on like that. We haven't got a whole lot to do here. So, and I like to smooth it across the top of my trowel like this, in case it's got lumps in it, you know, and get those lumps out. But see, here's a nice thing, especially with gooey stuff like I've got here. You can tip it like this and it's going to slide a little bit, and this way it'll stop it from sliding. Well, let's do the easy part first. Let's go right along here. And I'm just getting it on there for the moment. Yep, you're going to get some flopping down on the ground. No doubt about it. I already did. The nice thing is when it dries, it's pretty easy to just chip it off. And it is water soluble, so you could take a sponge and wash it off. Alright, so that's just getting it on there. Now I'm going to take my wide knife like this here. And there's my first coat. And it'll take a couple more coats. I usually do 3. Do the first one, go back over it with my trowel and knock off the high spots. And then give it a second coat, and then my third coat is the one that I sand. And then, of course, you're going to do your screws. And one of the things you got to remember about your screws, you want to make sure that when you put them in, that you get them seated enough so that when you putty over it, it covers it and you don't have this black nubby sticking out. And don't worry about it. If you have one screw that's sticking out a little too much, just take your hammer and give that puppy a whack, you know what I mean? Just dimple it in a little bit. Okay, now we have all the holes filled. And the next thing to do is attack our corner. Here we go. First thing I'm going to do is start putting it on like this. Just run it down one side like that. And then run some down the other side like that. Just get it in there. That's all you got to do. Just get it in there. Because once you get it in there, then you're going to come back with your corner trowel and you're going to smooth it all out. Now you could do it, like I said, in a 2-stage process where you would come along and you would actually only do the one side like you see me doing here and get that in the corner like that. And the only way I've ever gotten that to work is to let that dry and then come back the next day and put my next coat on the other side. And most of the time you don't have the luxury of waiting like that. So that's where that corner trowel comes in. Very handy. I'll get the rest of this on and I'll bring you back and show you how I do it with the corner trowel. This is not necessarily, well, definitely not the only way to do it. I'm not a professional drywall guy, although I've been doing it for 30 plus years, off and on again. Lots of remodels, but this is one way of doing it anyway. Okay, let's do our corner. We got our mud all in there. So now that we've got it in there, all we're going to do is take our trowel like this and run it right down the corner, just like that. And it looks like I could use a little bit more right in there, so we'll take some off of the trowel. And remember, this is only our first coat, so any imperfections we'll take care of on the next couple of times around. And these places here, like this, just bend your trowel and you can get those right off just like that. And there we have it. Well, I'm going to finish the other side and then we're going to slide our freezer in here. And perhaps I'll give you a short quickie after the freezer is in place, because this is as far as this is going to go for now. Well, there you have it. The sheetrock is in and the freezer is in place with no room to spare. And that's the way I designed it. We picked out a freezer with a size within certain parameters to allow us to extend our wall here. You gotta remember our original wall stopped right here. So I added this much into the bathroom. And we had a chest, we had a chest freezer over in here originally. And now with this upright freezer, we can get actually more storage and it takes up less space. So yeah, that part is done for now, and I won't be doing any more with that until I'm done with the bathroom. I'm not even wanting to think about what I'm going to do next. Tomorrow is Sunday, and it's going to be a day of rest for this old man.
Clean tools are happy tools.
Well, I have introduced you to my friend Harvey, haven't I? Well, you know Harvey. He's that invisible 8-foot tall rabbit. If you could see him, that's what he'd look like. Thanks for watching. It's another beautiful day here in the neighborhood, and the shade tree fix-it man is working in the shade. Thanks for watching, for commenting, and subscribing. Bye now.